We're running dangerously low on
A lot of
camera
things.
memory, on a lot of things, sanity, camera memory. So we need to.
Cool.
We're playing a little bit with fire, but we can't not talk about Sissy and Rich and working with those guys and their performances. Who?
We just not. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
No, your actors were incredible. Like obviously,
I have a lot to say about that, but I'll go fast.
Please do, and I want to hear like cool stories because I know that you kind of kept them separated by choice for a long, long time. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, they started recording the game both in their own home recording setups, and I didn't let them meet before we started, and they built their relationship completely through the lines of the game, talking to each other over a phone. So it was like, well,
even though they live in the same city.
Yeah, they live in not only the same city, they both live in like Toluca Lake, which is the one little neighborhood in the
That's
valley.
hilarious.
Yeah, they live maybe a quarter mile from each other.
So they'd seen each other in a Ralph's.
They've definitely been to Gelson's and been like, is that the guy from Mad Men? So we started the game, and we were literally setting up the office, like building the desk that we would sit at. And I called Sissy on the phone and said, hey, we worked together on The Walking Dead. You were Katja. You were one of the best actresses I've ever worked with in my life. I'm doing a game, and it's going to have a female lead, and it's going to be you. So just so you know, hope that's cool.
She still read for it, though.
Yeah.
She read lines for it. She did the demo stuff, but like there was no competing Delilah.
But
we never took another audition.
That came in, and Jane, you were like the happiest that we were casting right off the bat.
I was like, oh my God, I love her.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And then with Henry, it was just a slog. We kept writing oh my God.
Yeah, it took a long
dozens
time.
and dozens and dozens of reads. And then Patrick Ewing, not the basketball player, but he's a programmer on the game. He ran a board game blog, and Rich followed him on Twitter. And I was like, just see if that guy wants to read for it. And Rich and I got on the phone the next day, and he's like, yeah, totally, I want to do this. And he read for it and was completely different than what I wanted. Like, it was just like...
What did you want?
I wanted someone like Louis C.K., I guess. I wanted sort of
somebody angrier then.
Yeah, and just more like
fed up with everything. Which still kind of fits.
Someone more wry, kind of.
Yeah,
More Ryan, a little bit like you could see him blowing something off line for line more than where like it seems like Henry that we have played by Rich seems like he sort of balls it up a little more.
Yeah, exactly. And but I also didn't know what I wanted. It's just one of those things where I would just write casting sheets all the time and change it up and say, oh, I want this. Like, look, these are the inspirations now. Here are different lines.
Harry Crane from Mad Men showed up as sort of a stature model for
a
Henry.
Little bit, but I don't know. I think you might be backdropping that because what I was going to say is that hold on, let me finish. Is that Rich unlocked the character as a human, as an actor for me in a way that no actor ever had before.
Wow.
Where I just said oh, you were it. I just didn't know that was right. Like it was in there, and you just went
Also, when you
and there he is.
When you sent his read to the team,
everyone.
that was literally not only was he the best one, it was the first and only one out of the dozens that we all listened to,
maybe 50,
where any of us were just like,
oh my
that
God.
even could be like. I remember listening to a ton of those and not even feeling like.
Yeah, we're like, are we making a mistake by making this game?
Yeah,
Is there something with the lines?
Yeah,
I remember
we've done
like
something wrong.
Not even like a maybe. Everyone was just
no. Just like we are.
Yeah, I remember picking
a million miles
like
you wouldn't
because I
wanna
felt
listen
like
to
I was
that
under duress. Not that it was my decision, but just as these are three. I guess seem like they maybe, but I was basically
then his reads came in and were like, please, I hope we can get this guy because
especially
this
with
is just what it is.
Right? If you listen to both of them together, you're like, I would listen.
We
to
can make the
hard.
game now if both of these people say yes.
Yeah.
So
it also means
it was so clear.
Writing the game became much easier. I just wrote for them as characters and as actors. And we became really close. It was really intimate, hours and hours and hours just talking to each other, through headphones.
And you recorded chronologically, which was cool, right? Because
that's
they
awesome.
were starting off kind of awkward talking to each other, which really actually adds to the game.
Yeah, definitely. We do. I think with a game that has a story like that, we'll always try to build and record as the story moves forward, unless there was
at least until you get
reason.
Through one passage, and then you gotta go.
We come back through and do backfill for sure, but yeah. They're amazing. Working with them was and is one of the most gratifying professional experiences. Period. Yeah, they're really wonderful people.
Cool.
And I owe them so much for if you find that thing that unlocks that thing for you, if you think about what if I hadn't found Rich, that's a very dark. I don't like to think about that, So I owe them a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.